My name is Matt Quinonez, United States Army. Operation Restore Hope, it's a means by which veterans that have served in the armed forces, either in a combat zone or a non-combat zone, can use Operation Restore Hope as a means to kind of process their experiences of the military in a positive way by giving back. For example, when you go on Operation Restore Hope, you show up there and they have the opportunity for you to build a home for another person. And so, like when we showed up on the first day, there's a slab, and within 2 days we build a house. And much like being in the military, when you're doing stuff with your hands, and we were building a house, it makes great opportunities for conversations that you normally wouldn't have in any other situation. And building stuff and cutting wood and painting and all those other things that you do, for whatever reason, it's tangible. And while you're doing those tangible things, it gives opportunity for tangible conversations. How it impacted me personally is I think it's really easy to become very focused in our American way of life. And sometimes we create struggles in our heads that just aren't really there. The struggles that we think we have in a checkout line or traffic or some sort of physical problem with our car, we make it so much bigger than it really is. And so when you go and you look and see what a real struggle looks like, it gives you the opportunity to just kind of contrast your own struggles and say, man, maybe my struggle really isn't that big. And not that we should use other people's struggles that are worse than ours to make us feel better about ourselves, but you can't help but reflect back and think, what do I have to complain about? When I have a complaint, what am I really complaining about? I'm making stuff up in my head. The truth is that I'm much better off than I should be. Specifically for Operation Restore Hope and my relationship with Quinonez Missions, I have so many hats that I wear, and I have so many responsibilities that I have, that I have stuff I need to accomplish. And when somebody says to me, we need to be involved in missions, we need to go and build a house, I'm always like, yes, we need to do that. And then they look at me and say, so how are we going to do that? And I'm like, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I can't do it. And so what I really love is with Quinonez Missions and Operation Restore Hope, it's plug and play. Like 100% confidence that I know that if I talk to Quinonez Missions and I say, this is the team, this is the amount of funds that we have, I know and I can trust that it's going to happen. And so as a leader of an organization that has a lot of things to do, it gives me just confidence in them to say, hey, I can trust that you're going to take care of the money, you're going to take care of the mission, you're going to take care of the people. I even told you that I would feel comfortable putting my daughter and my wife in your hands without me there to be able to take care of their safety and their security to be able to do this. And so as a pastor and as a father, it gives me confidence to know that I can trust Quinonez Missions to be able to take care of all the details. I can just write a check. So I love it. Personally, for me, I took my 15-year-old son, and on the second day, he got really, really frustrated because he was trying to nail in drywall down at the toe board. And if you've ever done drywall, it's impossible to do. And my son got really, really frustrated. And so he came at me as his dad because I was on the trip. And he was frustrated with me, and he said, Dad, how come you never taught me how to nail in drywall? And at first I was kind of upset because I was like, well, we've never nailed drywall together. That's what this whole experience is about. And so I took a moment and I pulled him aside, and I was like, what's really going on here? And he said, we're trying to build somebody a house, and I'm not doing it good enough. And we're there to give somebody a house. But for me as a father, like being able to take my son and have him have that moment when he wanted to give back, right? I mean, he wanted to bless somebody else, and he wanted to do it right. If he would just have that same mindset in everything in his life, man, he may not remember that as being his moment, but my prayer is that years from now, he'll have that remembrance of that I had the opportunity to bless somebody and I wanted to do it well. And so seeing him and having that heart moment when he really wanted to do it well, I'll take that home with me. Jesus is my Savior. He's my example. Jesus is the reason why I'm able to do what I do. I couldn't have made it to heaven on my own. I needed someone to pay the price for me, to pay for my sins. And Jesus did that for me. So because he paid the penalty for my sins, I call him my Savior, and he's my ticket to heaven. So I'm just getting in on his coattails, man. That's my only play I got. I got one card. I'm playing it every single time I get it. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. He's my Savior. I'm very, very cautious about where I put my money, because I don't want my money to be wasted, and I don't want to support something that doesn't have teeth. And I know that for me, I feel 100% confident that every dollar that I give to Quinonez Missions and Operation Restore Hope is going to the cause. What I would say to somebody who is reluctant, I would say you can have complete confidence that whether it's going directly to the cause or directly to the administrative cost, that the fat has been trimmed, and you should feel confident that all of your money is going to help people in need tangibly. And coming from a guy that really vets things out really, really well, I do it with zero reservations. I would tell a person, a corporation, a family, like this is good, fertile soil to put seed in, and you shouldn't have any reservations about it whatsoever. I would just tell them to go, man. Go even though you're afraid. Go even though you're not sure about it, because I know on the trip back, I was so thankful that I went. I know that for my son, I didn't even ask him if he was going to go. I told him he was going to go, and it was costly, because the night before we left, he was saying that he didn't want to go, and I just trusted that this was going to be life-changing for him. And so he was mad that I didn't even ask him to go, because I said that the discussion is irrelevant because you're going. Like, that's it, you're going. And on the flight, the day after we got back, he said to me, Dad, I'm glad you forced me to go. And so if you got a kid that doesn't want to go, force him. And if you don't want to go, force yourself. But there's everything to gain and nothing to lose by going.